साधु साधु साधु। नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्दस्स। नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्दस्स। नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्दस्स। इतिपिसो भगवा अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो विद्याचरण संपन्नो सुखतो लोकविदो अनुत्तरो पुरुष धम्म सारथि। सत्ता देव मनुष्याणां बुद्धो भगवाति। Okay, let us start puja. Homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्दस्स. Opening reverence. We reverence the Buddha, the perfectly enlightened one, the shore of the way. We reverence the Dharma, the teaching of the Buddha, which leads from darkness to light. We reverence the Sangha, the fellowship of the Buddha's disciples that inspires and guides. Three refuges. Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Sangham saranang gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranam Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami.
5 precepts. Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Adinnadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Kamesu Miccācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Kamesu Miccācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Surameraya Majjapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Surameraya Majjapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
The positive precepts. With deeds of loving kindness, I purify my body. With open-handed generosity, I purify my body. With stillness, simplicity, and contentment, I purify my body. With truthful communication, I purify my speech. With mindfulness, clear and radiant, I purify my mind. Salutation to the three jewels, Buddha Vandana. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijja charana sampanno sugato lokavido anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati Satta deva manusanam buddho bhagavati buddham jivita pariyamtam saranam gacchami. Dhamma Vandana. Swakhato bhagavata dhammo samdittiko akaliko ehi passiko panaiko pachattam veditappo vinyuiti dhammam jivita pariyantam saranam gacchami. Sangha Vandana. Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujjupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samici patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidam chattari purisa yugani Atta purisa puggala Esa bhagavato savaka Ahuneyo pahuneyo Dakhineyo Anchalikaraneyo Anuttarang punyakhettam lokasati Sangham jivita pariyantam saranam gacchami. Reverence to the three jewels. We reverence the Buddha and aspire to follow him. The Buddha was born as we are born. What the Buddha overcame, we too can overcome. What the Buddha attained, we too can attain. We reverence the Dharma and aspire to follow it with body, spirit, and mind until the end. The truth in all its aspects, the path in all its stages. We aspire to study, practice, and realize. We reverence the Sangha and aspire to follow it, the fellowship of those who tread the way. As one by one we make our own commitment and ever winding circle the Sangha follows. Offerings to the Buddha, Padipa Puja, offering of lights. Ganasarappaditena Dipena Tamadansina Tiloka Dipam Sambuddham Pujayami Tamonudam. Reverencing the Buddha with candles. To him who is the light, we offer light. From his greater lamp, a lesser lamp we light within us. The lamp of Bodhi shining within our hearts. Sugandha Puja, offering of incense. Gandha Sambara Yuttena Dupena Ham Sugandhina Pujaye Pujaniyam Tam Puja Bhajana Muttamam. Reverencing the Buddha, we offer incense, the fragrance of which pervades the air. The fragrance of the perfect light, sweeter than incense, spreads in all directions throughout the world. Puppha Puja, offering of flowers. Vanna Gandha Gunopetam Etam Kusuma Santatin Pujayami Munindasa Siripada Saroruhe Pujami Buddham Kusumena Nena Punyena Metena Chahotu Mokkam Uppan Milayati Atha Idam Me Kayo Tatayati Vinasa Bhavam. Reverencing the Buddha, we offer flowers. Flowers that today are fresh and sweetly blooming. Flowers that tomorrow are faded and fallen. Our bodies too, like flowers, will pass away. Paniya Puja, offering of water. Adivase tuno bhante Paniyam parikapitam Anukampam upadaya Patiganhatu muttamam. O Lord, the Blessed One, please accept this water as an offering to you out of great compassion for us. Panaka Puja, offering of fruit juice. Adhivase tuno bhante Panakam parikapitam Anukampam upadaya Patiganhatu muttamam. O Lord, the Blessed One, may this good juice be kindly accepted by you out of great compassion for us. Sharing merits. May the merit gained in my acting thus alleviate the suffering of all beings. My personality throughout my existences, my processions, and my merit in all three ways. I give up without regard to myself for the benefit of all beings. Ettavatacha amhehi sambhatam punya sampadam Sabbe deva anumodanto sabba sampatti siddhya Ettavatacha amhehi sambhatam punya sampadam Sabbe satta anumodanto sabba sampatti siddhya Idam me jnatinam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo Idam me jnatinam hotu Sukhita hontu ñātayo idam me ñātinam hotu. Sukhita hontu ñātayo. Rectification of faults. The evil which I have heaped through my ignorance and foolishness, evil in the world of everyday experience, as well as evil in understanding and intelligence, all that I acknowledge to the Buddha, may the Lord receive this kindly, just as it is with its many faults. What is not good, O Blessed One, I shall not do again. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katam acchayam khamame bhante bodhipanya tathagata. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katam acchayam khamame bhante bodhipanya tathagata. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katam acchayam khamame bhante bodhipanya tathagata. Dedication. We dedicate this place to the three jewels, to the Buddha, the ideal of enlightenment to which we aspire, to the Dharma, the path of the teaching which we follow, to the Sangha, the spiritual fellowship with one another which we enjoy. Here may no idle words be spoken, here may no unquiet thought disturb our minds. To the observance of the five precepts we dedicate this place. To the practice of meditation we dedicate this place. To the development of wisdom we dedicate this place. To the attainment of enlightenment we dedicate this place. Advice of all the Buddhas. Sabba papasa akaranam kusalasa upasampada sachitta pariyodapanam etam buddhana sasanam. Let us recite Metta Sutta. Radiate in loving thoughts towards all living beings. Page number 31, Metta Sutta, the discourse on loving kindness. Karaniya mattha kusalena yantam santam padam abhisameccha sakko bochocha sujocha suvacho chassa mudu anatimani santussa kocha subharocha appakichocha sallavukavati santingriyocha nipakocha appagappo kulesu ananugiddo nacha godang samachare kinchi yena vinyo pare upavadeyum sakhino vakemino sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta ye kechipana bhutati tasava tavarava anavase digavaye mahantava majjimarasa kanukatula dittavaye vaditta ye chadure vasanti avidure bhutava sambhave jiva sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta na paro param nikobbeta Nāti maññeta kattachinam kanchi vyārosana patigha samñā nāñya maññassa dukkha vicceya mātā yatha niyam puttam āyusā eka putta manurakke evam pi sabba bhutesu mana sambhavaye apari mettam cha sabba lokasmin mana sambhavaye aparimanam uddham adochatiriyam cha asambādam averam asapattam tittam charam nisinno va sayano va yavatassa vigatamiddo etam satim aditteya brahmametam viharam ida Ditthing cha anupagamma sīlavā dassanena sampanno kāmesu vinaya gedam nahi chātu gabbaseyam punaretiti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us practice Metta Bhavana for a while. When we radiate loving thoughts, we have to think, first of all, we have to think ourselves or radiate loving thoughts towards ourselves, then to others. At the beginning, we can think, may I be well and happy. May I be free from suffering. May I be free from anger. May I be free from ill will. May I be free from enmity. May I be free from anxiety. May I be free from jealousy. May I be well and happy. Then next, we have to radiate loving thoughts towards nearest and dearest one, especially for our parents and also teachers. May my parents and teachers be well and happy. May they be free from suffering. May they be free from anger. May they be free from ill will. May they be free from enmity and anxiety. May they be free from jealousy. May my parents, teachers be well and happy. Then towards our children, husband, wife and family members, may they be well and happy. May they be free from suffering. May they be free from anger and ill will. May they be free from enmity and anxiety. May they be free from jealousy. May they be well and happy. And next, we can remember our brothers and sisters. May my brothers and sisters be well and happy. May they be free from suffering, free from anger, free from ill will, free from enmity and anxiety, free from jealousy. May they be well and happy. And next, towards all colleagues, friends, companions, may they be well and happy. May they be free from suffering, free from anger and evil, free from enmity and anxiety, free from jealousy. May they be well and happy. And then towards unfriendly people, may they be well and happy, free from suffering, free from anger and evil, free from enmity and anxiety, free from jealousy. May they be well and happy. Then towards all people in Singapore and neighbors countries, and finally we can remember all living beings, not only human beings, all living beings be well and happy. May they be free from mentally suffering. May they be free from physical pain. May they be free from anger. May they be free from ill will. May they be free from enmity. May they be free from anxiety. May they be free from jealousy. May all living beings be well and happy. May all living beings be well and happy. May all living beings be well and happy. Sampe Satta Sukhita Amutu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. The next, let us discuss the Dharma. Today I have selected for Dharma discussion or Dharma talk Four bases of hospitality, or the four ways of showing favor. In Pali, we call Chatu Sangahavattu. Chatu Sangahavattu we can find in two suttas. These are very important. When we practice these four, it's not for us, it's for the others, well-being of others. And at the same time, when we practice these four factors, then spiritually we can reach the spiritual development. That's why we have to practice these four. These four in Pali: Dana, Piyavachana, Samanattata, and Attacharya. Third one is Attacharya. Dana, generosity. Piyavachana or Peyavajja, there are two words for that. Pleasant speech. Then the Attacharya, helping others. And the last one is Samanatata, equality. Then though Buddhism mainly focuses its doctrine towards the direction of individual liberation, no one can deny the fact that it pays similar attention to the social aspect of the individuals. Buddhist path of liberation does not exclude social responsibilities in its entirety from the followers, as they can follow the path to some extent leading to household social life. Buddhism is not only for those who go forth from household life to the homelessness or renunciation we call. It recognizes a way of life which is compatible with the path of liberation for its lay followers who leads the social life. You know, there are some famous figures appears in the suttas, especially Sutta Pitaka. We can find many examples. One is like a King Bimbisara and King Kosala, and millennia we call Anathapindika, and also virtuous parents like Nakula Mata and Nakula Pita and Nakula Mata, Nakula's mother and father, and also Visakha, and also Mallika, Queen Mallika. Those are very famous lay followers of the Buddha. This way of life recommended for the lay followers insists the social well-being achievable through mutual striving for the fulfillment of social requirements. The Buddhist concept of four bases of hospitality or Chatu Sangahavattu is intended to inquire in order to find its applicability for the social well-being, also a good social relationship. The four factors which results in social well-being through mutual harmony, unity, peace and happiness put forward by the Buddha in the Anguttara Nikaya as follows. There are, O bhikkhus, four ways of being of service to human beings. What are these four? They are dana or charity, peyavajja or piyavachana, pleasant speech, Arthacharya, altruism or beneficial action, and Samanatata, equality or impartiality. It is quite evident from the analysis of 4 ways of hospitality that the aim of presenting them is to secure the social well-being irrespective of whatsoever difference of the members of the society. After presenting the 4 ways of hospitality, the Buddha has made the following important remark on them. These 4 winning ways make world go round. Explaining stanzas. These 4 winning ways make world go round. As the linchpin in a moving car, if these in the world exist not, neither mother nor father will receive respect and honor from their children. The same teaching explained by the Buddha in Sustaining Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya. This sutta named in Pali Sanghavattu Sutta. The sutta explained thus, because there are these 4 means of sustaining a favorable relationship. What 4? Number 1, giving, dana. Number 2, endearing, a speech or piyavachana. Number 3, beneficial conduct, Arthacharya. The last one, impartiality, Samanattata. These are the 4 means of sustaining a favorable relationship. Further, the Buddha had explained with a simile as in stanzas, giving, endearing a speech, giving, endearing a speech, beneficent conduct, and impartiality. Under diverse worldly conditions, as is suitable to fit each case, these means of sustaining a favorable relationships are like the linchpin of a rolling chariot. If these were no such means of sustaining a favorable relationship, neither mother nor father would be able to obtain esteem and veneration from their children. But since there exist these means of sustaining a favorable relationship, wise people respect them, thus they attain to greatness and are highly praised. They are considered as the moving force of the world by the Buddha. The Buddha further insisted that if those virtues are not cultivated by people, there would not be respect and honor to the parents by their children. That's why the 4 ways of hospitality in the world are compared to the linchpin of a moving car or chariot. There is no need to say that when the linchpin of a moving vehicle is dislodged, the vehicle necessarily would be broken down. Vehicle is not in a position to move further. This, of course, highlights importance of the 4 ways of the hospitality for the solidarity of the society and for the uninterrupted functioning of the society. The first one is dana, generosity. The first hospitality is dana or generosity or given. This Pali term dana translated into English in different ways, such as charity, generosity, liberality, donation and gift. Also can say helping and sharing. Dana or parichaga, another term is chaga. Chaga, parichaga, dana we can find in the suttas. Is the list of 10 perfections. 10 perfections. 10 means dasa in Pali. Perfections, paramita. In Mahayana, there are 6 perfections. In Theravada Suttas, we can find 10 paramitas, 10 perfections. Paramita or Buddha Karaka Dhamma, bringing about Buddhahood or the factors for making one fully enlightened. Those 10 factors have to be developed up to maximum level for the benefit, happiness and well-being of the many. Again, dana or generosity becomes first virtue of dasa kusala. It reduces the personal attachment to things or selfishness. Dasa paramita, we can find generosity, then dasa kusala karma. Also, the first factor is dana. Then again, the Buddha follows the teaching or preaching method known as anupubbhikata or anupubbhikata. That means gradual preaching, starting from dana kata, preaching the value of practicing generosity. In the process of one's spiritual development. Dana kata, sila kata, sagga kata, like that way, Buddha explained. Dana kata, explaining or preaching the Dhamma with dana, then sila, morality, then sagga, sagga means the divine world, and kamanang adinavang, the dangers of the karmas or sensual desires, like that Buddha explained. The first preaching of the gradual preaching is dana kata. Then dana also comes first in the list of dasa raja dhamma. Dasa raja dhamma, the 10 principles of good ruler of the country. Dasa, 10, raja, king, dhamma means the virtues, the principles. The 10 principles of good ruler. Dasaraja Dhamma is the duty of a king, distributes national income equally, different aspects of the social needs such as education, health, economy, security, and so forth. The king has to practice dana, who seeks the well-being of his subject. This first step of generosity or dana, that leading to the reduction of the gap between haves and haves not. And also this signifies the sharing of nation's wealth equally among the members of the society. Again, dana heads in the list of dasa punya Kiriya Vattu. 10 bases of meritorious acts. These are recommended for every human being in his day-to-day life. In the Pattha Kamma Sutta, or in English, Worthy Deeds Sutta, discourse on worthy deeds, preached to Anathapindika by the Buddha. In this sutta, the Buddha explained for things are difficult to acquire in the world. What are those four? Number 1, wealth lawfully obtained. Number 2, good report. Number 3, long life. The last one, happy rebirth. These four are very difficult to acquire in the world. The Buddha explained how noble people acquire wealth according to righteous way and use them in right way. Thus, with wealth acquired by energetic striving, amassed by the strength of his arms, earned by the sweat of his brow, righteous wealth righteously gained, and the noble people undertake 4 worthy deeds. The noble disciple makes himself happy and pleased and properly maintain himself in happiness. These are the 4 worthy deeds. Number 1, the noble disciple make himself happy and pleased and properly maintains himself in happiness. Then number 2, he makes his parents happy and pleased and properly maintains them in happiness. Number 3, he makes his wife and children, his workers and servants happy and pleased and properly maintains them in happiness. The last one, he makes his friends and companions happy and pleased and properly maintains them in happiness. This is the first case of wealth that has gone to good use, that has been properly utilized and used for a worthy cause. And the Buddha explained further in the same sutta. Again, with wealth acquired by energetic striving so forth, the noble disciple makes the 5 oblations. 5 oblations in Pali term is Pancha Bali. Pancha means 5, Bali means oblations. The Pali term Bali comes from Vedic literature. The meaning is religious offering or oblation. Panchabali means 5-fold offerings. It is the duty of noble ones that he has to share with others his earnings in 5 ways. These are the 5 balis or oblations. The first one in Pali, Jnati Bali. Jnati means relatives. Jnati Bali, share with relatives. Number 2, Atithi Bali. Atithi means guests. Atithi Bali, share with guests. Then number 3, Pupapeta Bali. He has to remember his ancestors and has to perform religious activities for them called Kubba Peta Bali. Then number 4 is Raja Bali. He has to pay tax to the government or to the king. Then the last one, Devata Bali, doing spiritual acts and sharing merits with deities. Those are the 4 Balis for oblations. Nyati Bali, Atiti Bali, Kubbapeta Bali, Raja Bali, and Devata Bali. Share with relatives and share with guests, and also perform religious activities for ancestors and have to pay tax, and also doing spiritual acts for deities. This sutta also explains fourfold accomplishments. Those are in Pali: Saddha, Sila, Chaga, and Panya. Saddha is faith, Sila, virtue or morality, Chaga, giving or generosity, Panya, wisdom. And the same sutta explains these fourfold accomplishment. The third one is Chaga or generosity or Dana. Accomplishment of generosity, Chaga Sampada. And what is accomplishment in generosity? Buddha explained the Chaga Sampada or accomplishment in generosity. Here, a noble disciple dwells at home with a mind free from the stain of miserliness, freely generous, open-handed, delighting in relinquishment, devoted to charity, delighting in giving and sharing. This is called accomplishment in generosity. In Suppavasa Sutta, Suppavasa is a female devotee's name. Suppavasa Sutta, Anguttara Nikaya, books 4, Sutta number 57. The Buddha explained for benefits the recipients with food. Those are same thing may receive the giver in return. When you give to someone like a monk or to someone with food, you give Ayu, Vanna, Sukha, Bala, and Panya. Ayu, long life. Then Vanna, physical complexion. Sukha, comfort. Bala, power or strength, and also wisdom. With food, you give these 4, then in return, you can receive these 4 as a result of your dana. The Kolian daughter Suppavasa, with her own hand, served and satisfied the Buddha with various kinds of delicious food. When the Buddha had finished eating, and said to her, Suppavasa, a female noble disciple who gives food, gives the recipients for things. What for? She gives life, she gives beauty, she gives happiness, and she gives strength. Having given life, she partakes of life, whether celestial or human. Having given beauty, she partakes of beauty, whether celestial or human. Having given happiness, she partakes of happiness, whether celestial or human. Having given strength, she partakes of strength, whether celestial or human. Suppavasa, a female noble disciple who gives food, gives the recipients these 4 things. And explain again in the stanzas. When one gives well-prepared food, pure, delicious, and flavorful to the upright ones who are exalted and to excellent conduct. That offering, which links merit with merit, is praised as very fruitful by the world knowers. Those recollecting such generosity dwell in the world inspired by joy. Having removed the stain of miserliness and its root, blameless, they go to the heavenly abode. As Buddhism expects, if all the members of the society cultivate this virtue of generosity or dana, or social well-being would not be a difficult task. Then number 2, Piya Vachana or Peya Vacha, pleasant speech. It is the nature of the man that he delights with pleasant speech and gets angry with unpleasant speech. Buddhism recommended pleasant speech to be cultivated under the 4th precept of Panchasila or 5 precepts, which are considered to be the regular practice of the lay people. As unpleasant speech arouses anger of the listeners, it is certainly detrimental to harmony and peace among people. On the contrary, pleasant speech is conducive to harmony and peace, which are basic characteristics of social integrity. Pleasant speech, which is the direct opposite of harsh words, in Pali we call parusa vacha, rough words, harsh words. And these words is described by the Buddha in the discourses as follows. Abandoning abusive speech, he abstains from abusive speech. He speaks words that are soothing to the ear, and kanna sukha, soothing to the ear, that are affectionate, pemaniya, that go to the heart, hadayangama, that are polite, appealing and pleasing to people at large. This is part of his virtue. Though the term Piya Vachana or Peya Vacha is taken as a conducive factor for service to the fellow beings, there is no doubt that it denotes in its broader sense full coverage of Samma Vacha, right speech, the third of the 8 factors of Noble Eightfold Path or Arya Atthangika Magga. The 4th factor is Samma Vacha, right speech. For the reason that Miccha Vacha, wrong speech, which includes lying, Musavada, slandering, Pisuna Vacha, harsh speech, Parusa Vacha, frivolous talks, Sampapalapa, gossip, empty words. It's not pleasant to anyone, these 4. Therefore, Piya Vachana means pleasant speech that is factual or truthful, harmonious, agreeable and meaningful. The pleasant words endorsed with those characteristics are said to be one of the ways of treating or serving the people wealth. A pleasant speech has a great significance in the social context, as it leads to mutual cordiality and harmonious coexistence, and it brings forth peace among the people. The Buddha has shown that the wounding each with the weapons of the tongue, wounding each with the weapons of the tongue. In Pali it says, Anya manyang mukha sattehi vitudanta. Anya manyang, each other. Mukha sattehi, the weapons of tongue or tongues. By weapons of the tongue, vitudanta, wound each other with the weapons of tongue. That means the words are very dangerous, like weapons. As a feature leading to discordance in the society. This is another example for bad words. That is, Brahma, called Tudu Brahma, was the teacher of Chulla Kokalika, a very nasty person in Buddha's time, Kokalika, and having became Anagami. The Tudu Brahma became Anagami. Anagami, non-returner. He practiced and he born in the Deva world or Brahma world as a Tudu Brahma. He became an Anagami, was born in the Brahma world. When Kokalika, that bad person, was grievously ill, Tudu Brahma visited him and exhorted him to put his trust in Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Moggallana, because this Kokalika, he was a monk and he always called to Venerable Sariputta and Moggallana. He was angry with them because they are very famous, that's why, and with the jealousy. Then, but this Kokalika refused to accept his advice and drove him away, his teacher, Brahmatudu. There are 4 verses are there in Brahmatudu Sutta, in Sanyutta Nikaya, Brahma Sanyutta. 2 of them directly related to a speech of wicked people. When a person has taken birth, an X is born inside his mouth. You know X, A-X-E. X is born inside his mouth, with which the fool cuts himself, uttering defamatory speech. He who praises one deserving blame or blames one deserving praise casts with his mouth an unlucky throw, by which he finds no happiness. Also in Subhasita Sutta, also in Sutta Nipata, good example for Peya Vajja or Piya Vachana. Subhasita also means good speech, good words, Subhasita. Subhasita Sutta, good example for Peya Vajja or Piya Vachana. This sutta appears in Sutta Nipata. The Buddha tells the monks that good speech is spoken well, righteously, affectionately, and truthfully. Having said this, the Buddha further said thus, well-spoken speech is best, the good say. Speak Dhamma, not non-Dhamma, that is second. Speak what is pleasing, not displeasing, that is third. Speak the truth, not lies, that is fourth. There are 4 types of speech. Well-spoken speech is best, the good say. Speak Dhamma, not non-Dhamma, that is the second. Speak what is pleasing, not displeasing, that is third. Speak the truth, not lies, that is fourth. Four types of good speech. Then Venerable Wangisa rose from his seat, arranged his upper robe over one shoulder, and having reverently saluted the Buddha, said to him, "An inspiration has come to me, Blessed One, and inspiration has come to me, Fortunate One." Then the Buddha said, "Then express your inspiration, Wangisa." Because Wangisa, according to the commentaries, he was a poet. He can't make a poem. The Venerable Wangisa then extolled the Buddha to his face with suitable verses. These the stanzas. One should utter only such a speech by which one does not torment oneself. One cause injury to others, that speech truly is well spoken. One should utter only such a speech by which one does not torment oneself, nor cause injury to others, that speech truly is well spoken. Number 2, one should utterly only pleasant speech, a speech that is gladly welcome. One should speak words that bring nothing bad, a speech that is pleasing to others. The third one, truth indeed is deathless a speech, that is an ancient principle. The good and the Dhamma, good people say, are established upon truth. The speech that the Buddha utters for the attainment of Nibbana is secure. For making an end to suffering is indeed the supreme speech. That is the sayings of Venerable Wangisa. Then the third hospitality is Attha Charya, welfare activities or social services. This means the rendering of beneficial service for the common good. In other words, this is called altruism in Buddhism. In the modern sense, it is the social service. Buddhism recommends not only one's own well-being, Atta Datta in Pali, the term Atta Datta, his own well-being, but also the well-being of others, Paratta, well-being of others. Both receive almost emphasis in Buddhism, and his own well-being and well-being of others. The Buddha's acknowledgement of 4 ways of service or hospitality is evidence to show how interested Buddhism is in social service. In really speaking, there is no any other religion in the history of religions which encourages people to serve for the well-being of both oneself and others as Buddhism does. The person who works for the welfare of both himself and others is considered in Buddhism as highest among people in the context of welfare. In Anguttara Nikaya, Attahita Sutta puts it in this way. Monks, these four persons are found existing in the world. What for? Number one, he who works neither for his own welfare nor for the welfare of others. The number one, he who works neither for his own welfare nor for the welfare of others. Number two, he who works for the welfare of others and not for his own welfare. Number three, he who works for his own welfare but not for the welfare of others. The last person, he who works for the welfare of both himself and others. This classification of the four kinds of individuals is done in an ascending order of excellence. Therefore, the fourth individual is just to be the best. And another example is in Pattakamma Sutta of Anguttara Nikaya. Enumerates the way in which a man should serve with his wealth for the happiness of the different groups of people in the society. For the Buddhist laity, social service is an integrated part of the individual life. Each member of society is committed to behave in a way that is beneficial and productive to others' welfare and betterment of society is to be made this aim of an individual's day-to-day activities. Buddhism encourages a way of the life that enhances that well-being of an individual as well as of the society. But Buddha says, Attadattang parattena bahuna pinahapaye. Very famous sayings of the Buddha. For the sake of another's benefit, however great it may be, do not neglect one's own benefit. Don't forget your own things to do. That Buddha's advice. The last hospitality is samanatata, equality. The Buddhist concept of equality can be considered as the cornerstone of progress of a society, both spiritually as well as materially, for it is really the principle of unifying mankind as a human society. So long as one does not consider one's feelings as those of others, there is no possibility to have unity and peace amongst human beings, the most necessary driving force of the progress of our society. Equality is a quality of the mind which stimulates one to compare one's feeling with others. One's own self, attata or individuality, basically depends on one's own feelings, either pleasant or unpleasant, sukha or dukkha, What is meant by Samanattata in Buddhism is nothing but one's mentality which encompasses others' feelings as those of one's own. If people practice this mentality, one does not do anything that brings suffering to others. Consequently, one refrains from doing harm to others and cultivates what is wholesome. Then people can look mutually at others with the affectionate eyes. Anyamanyan pichakkuhi sampassamana says in Pali. This is the reason why equality can be considered as the principle of into one whole group of community. The equality is equal to the mental state of a person who is devoid of self-praise, attukansana in Pali, and contempt of others, paravambana. Attukansana, self-praise, paravambana, contempt of others. Such a person really looks at another as himself, thereby equalizing him with oneself. On the other hand, if remind us the character of a warm-hearted friend, Kalyana Mitra, who is the same in happiness and sorrow, Samana Sukha Dukkha, shows in Sigalovada Sutta. I think you know Sigalovada Sutta, long sutta in Digha Nikaya. That sutta enumerates the character of that friend as follows. He reveals his secrets, he conceals another's secrets. In misfortune, he does not forsake another and his life. He even sacrifices for another's sake. The universality of the concept of equality is evident from the instruction of the Buddha to look at all others' suffering as one's own suffering and look at others' happiness as one's own happiness. In the Veludwara Sutta, the Buddha speaks to the villagers thus, I teach you now this doctrine. Put yourself in the position of others. Imagine and experience their comforts and discomforts, their joys and their sorrows. Feel for yourself their likes and dislikes. Live truly in the midst of others all the time. And finally, I would like to take the Hattaka Sutta or Hattalavaka Sutta of Anguttara Nikaya. This sutta clearly show the way how these four factors should be practiced. These four hospitality. Hattalaka Sutta or Hattaka Sutta. That sutta yes, on one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Alavi at the Aggalava shrine. Then Hattaka of Alavi, Hattaka person's name, Hattaka, accompanied by 500 lay followers, approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, and sat down to one side. Then the Blessed One said to him, your retinue is large, Hattaka. How do you sustain this large retinue? I do so, Bhante, by the four means of sustaining a favorable relationship taught by the Blessed One. When I know this one is to be sustained by gift, a gift. I sustain by a gift. Dana, the number one is dana. When I know this one is to be sustained by endearing speech, piya vachana, I sustain him by endearing speech. When I know this one is to be sustained by beneficent conduct, attacharya, I sustain him by beneficent conduct. When I know this one is to be sustained by impartiality, I sustain him by impartiality. There is wealth in my family, Bhante. They don't think they should listen to me as if I were poor. Good Hattaka. This is the method by which you can sustain a large retinue. For all those in the past who sustained a large retinue did so by these same four means of sustaining a favorable relationship. All those in the future who will sustain a large retinue will do so by these same four means of sustaining a favorable relationship. And all those at present who sustain a large retinue do so by these same four means of sustaining a favorable relationship. Then after the Blessed One had instructed, encouraged, inspired and gladdened Hattaka of Alavi with a Dhamma talk, Hattaka rose from his seat, paid homage to the Blessed One and departed. Then not long after Hattaka of Alavi had left, the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus. Thus, bhikkhus, you should remember Hattaka of Alavi as one who possesses 8 astounding and amazing qualities. What 8? What 8? He is in number 1. He is endowed with faith and saddha. Number 2, he is virtuous, sila. And he has a sense of moral shame, hiri, and moral dread. Number 4, ottappa. Number 5, he is learned, bahusutta. Then the number 6 is generous, chaga, and the wise, panya. The last one, he has few desires, not more desires. You should remember Hattaka as one who possesses these 8 astounding and amazing qualities. Finally, happiness and joy derived from both physical and spiritual well-being can only be expected from such an environment. Okay, that the thing I recorded for you. I selected some suttas and my explanation, and as conclusion we explain 4 things for hospitality or sanghavattu, dana, piyavachana, attacharya and samanattata. Those are in English generosity, pleasant speech, and altruism or social service, and equality or impartiality. Those are the 4 hospitality explained by the Buddha in some suttas. You can find those 4 factors only in 2 suttas, but individually, like a sila, Dana, you can find many suttas, and Piyavachana also in many suttas. Attacharya, altruism also can find many suttas, and Samanatata, equality also we can find many different suttas. Okay, and I think finally I would like to invite you to transfer merits to departed relatives as we have done in the morning. Can you bring a jar of water to pour water, and also before that we recite Tirukuda Sutta today. We can remember our departed relatives and we can transfer merits to departed relatives. Can you bring water? Can you open that cupboard? No, the other one. The next one. Yeah. That bowl and glass you can bring here. Okay, first we recite this Tirukuda Sutta, then followed by transferring merits. Shall we recite? Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Tirupudde sutittanti sandhisingathakesu ca Dvarabaha sutittanti yagantvana sakhambaram Pahute annapanam hi kacca bojje upattite Nate sampochi sarati sattanam kamma paccaya Evam dadanti jnatinam ye hunti anukampaka Suching panitam kalena kappiyam pana bhojanam Idam o jnatinam hotu Sukhita hontu jnatayo Teja tatta samagantva ඥාති පේතා සමාගතා පහූතේ අන්නපානම්හි සක්කච්ඡං අනුමෝදරේ චිරංජීවං තුනෝ ඥාති යේසං හේතු ලභාමසේ අම්හා කංච කතා පූජා දායකාච අනිඵලා නහි තත්ත කසීයති ගෝරක්ඛෙතන විච්ඡති වනිජ්ජාතා දිසී නත්ති හිරඤ්ඤේන කයාඛයං ඊතෝ දින්නේන යාපෙන්ති පේතා කාල කතාතයි උන්නමේ උදකං වට්ඨං යථානින්නම් පවත්තති ඒවමේව ඊතෝ දින්නම් පේතානං උපකප්පති යථාවාරි වහා පුරා පරිපූර්ණති සාගරං ඒවමේව ඊතෝ දින්නම් පේතානං උපකප්පති අදාසිමේ අකාසිමේ ඥාති මිත්තා සඛාච මේ පේතානං දක්ඛිනං දච්චා උබ්බේ කත මනුස්සරං නහිරුන්නං වසෝකෝවා යාචඤ්ඤා පරිදේවනා නතං පේතාන මත්ථාය එවං තිත්තන්ති ඥාතයෝ යංච කෝදක්ඛිනා දින්නා සංගම්මේ සුපතිට්ඨිතා දීඝරත්තං හිතායස්ස ධානසෝ උපකප්පති සෝඤාති ධම්මෝ ච අයං නිදස්සිතෝ පේතාන පූජා ච කතා උලාරා බලංච බික්ඛූන මනුප්පදින්නම් තුම්මේහි පුඤ්ඤං පසුතං අනප්පකම්පි sadhu sadhu sadhu. Now you can remember your departed relatives, thinking, may they receive these merits and may they enjoy these merits wherever they may be. And finally, may they be well and happy, and also if they are in unhappy states, and they can become happy and also rebirth, and finally may they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana, thinking that you can pour water. Recite idam me jnati nam hotu idam me jnati nam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo idam me jnati nam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo idam me jnati nam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Observing 5 precepts and you have offered offerings to the Buddha and practice meditation, listen to the Dharma. Doing these things you have accrued a lot of merits, and also by the power of these merits and by the power of Triple Gem, may no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you always meet with success, peace, happiness, good health and good luck. Finally, may you all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.